Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics / Known Classics. This is episode number 1305. No, 1311. And Doubleshot number 1205. Yep. I have two Star Wars trades. First up is Star Wars, the Epic Collection Legacy. This is part of the Legends line. You are thinking, what the heck is Star Wars Legacy? Is this basically like the legacy of the franchise? No, this is basically the comic series published by Dark Horse Comics. Yes, that lasted for 50 issues, believe it or not. Yes, this book was entirely written by John Ostrander. It's considered to be one of his best works he ever did outside of the boot. Because when people think of John Ostrander, there's two things people think of. Suicide Squad and his Star Wars books he worked on. He worked on several books. This is one of them. This book lasted for 50 issues. Didn't have any annuals. Had 50 issues plus a mini-series to conclude this damn thing. Now, this Legacy book is the first one. Though I do have a trade from the actual original trade series published by Dark Horse. Yeah, written by John Ostrander and John Dusma, who's also the penciler here. We also have Adam Durker, Trevor Foreman. I met this guy for this person. Colin Wilson with Sean Cook and Dan Pearson's. Now, these issues were published from June 2006 to January 2008. Yeah, this is roughly the first 19 issues of this series, which originally this is published in the first 3 volumes for the Star Wars Legacy series. Now, the main character of the series is Cade Skywalker. You're probably asking, who the heck is Cade Skywalker? And where are the original characters? Where is everybody? Well, this is 130 years in the future. Yep, the future. No, I'm not basically doing the goose stomp thing. Basically, just pointing, waving to the future. That's not the Nazi. I'm not doing the Nazi salute. In case you're probably asking, Nick, what are you doing the Nazi salute for? It's basically me pointing my hand toward the future. That's basically what I'm doing. Oh, and by the way, when they ever did Nazi salute, from what I could tell, they usually did it with their right hand, not with the left hand. So I'm not doing Nazi salute, so don't accuse me of doing Nazi salute in comments. Okay? So, basically, Cade Skywalker, he's a bounty hunter. He used to be training to be a Jedi. Well, the reason why he stopped being a Jedi, he was an apprentice at the time, was because his father got killed by a Sith. Yep. And despite the fact he tried to help his father, this is of course established in a flashback in these issues, his father was like, no, just get away. Just get away. That's the simple gist. I'm like, really? Dude, what the heck is your problem? That's my answer for it. Yep. Now, there are other characters in this series. You have Dala Blue, Cade's girlfriend. Yes, his longtime girlfriend. He basically is pretty much with her in a relationship for pretty much the entire series. Though, in the case of the issues, there's actually a brief period of time where he's actually separated from them. And they attempt to pursue to have him join them. Because he's from a Skywalker, and he's basically the descendant of Anakin Skywalker. They try to. Heck, they even have a female red-skinned... No, this is not... This woman literally has red skin. A Sith apprentice to seduce him. Yep, and they have sex. I am not kidding about that. Yes, by far the only other woman besides Dala Blue he sleeps with the whole series. Yeah, he's basically, he does with Dala Blue many times over the course of the series. It's all about lust for him when it comes to love because she's hot. That's something with Dala Blue. And there's also other subplots in the series, like the fact that the Empire still exists in this timeline at this point, and they've been overthrown by a Sith Lord. Oh yeah, the rule of 2 completely out of the window. Yep, because there's a lot of Sith Lords. So apparently what Darth Bane established basically hundreds of years prior to the events of the original Star Wars series, according to this canon, completely the rule has been thrown out, and we have way too many Sith Lords. We're basically, in a way, according to what John Ostrander sets up, we're pretty much back to square one when it comes to Sith Lords, having way too many apprentices at the same time, which is something as a no-no what Darth Bane basically was trying to establish. Have one master, one apprentice. That was basically his MO for a long time. And fun little factoid, he did have an apprentice, a woman. This was, of course, established in the original Darth Bane, in the trilogy of novels. Not light novels, regular Star Wars novels. He had, from what I can tell on the cover, a very beautiful apprentice, who was with him for 20 years as his apprentice. Started as a little kid. Eventually, she finally killed him at the end of the series and took the other woman who apparently Darth Bane was planning to replace her, this little girl, with her as his apprentice because she didn't want to kill him. And eventually she did. She did eventually kill him, and she took the woman who was going to replace her as the apprentice in the Master Apprentice to make her apprentice. And that's basically how things went for a long time when it comes to Star Wars. Now, yeah, here's the red Sith lady who appears in this cover here. Yeah, that's the woman who Cad Skywalker sleeps with. Yes, the guy in the far left, that is actually the guy who overthrows the Emperor. Yes, he overthrows him. Why? Because he's weak. Now, as for why in the world the Sith associated with the Empire, pure and simple, because one of their emperors was a Sith Lord. So he figured, though, okay, and it turns this guy was later revealed in another trade. He used to be a general in the Clone Wars, fighting for the Republic. Yep. Oh, yeah, and by the way, the thing starts with a flashback. Now, this book basically has the issues published in its order in this paperback. Of course, online digitally. We have basically the first 7 issues basically published like this. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, because basically it's probably broken. And then we have 8 comes right after that, and 4 comes right after issue 8. Presumably because chronologically it's set between 9 and 8 and 9. Yeah. And then 9 and 10 is a 2-part called Trust Issues. 13 is a 1-shot called Ready to Die. Then we have a 2-parter, Ghost. And then we have 14 and 19, Claws of the Dragon. Oh yeah, and here's the thing. Apparently in this future, get this was later revealed and later on in the series, that their temple, and get this, the Sith are based on Coruscant, and they pretty much had another, it's also revealed later on in the series, that there was another purge. Yes, a second purge. Which, that was the reason for killing Kate Skywalker's father, was it was a second purge, only this time it wasn't a Jedi killing other Jedi like it was with the original Great Purge. This was another one, and what they did is that they basically took the Jedi Temple and modeled it basically like the new Sith Temple. Basically, what they showed in flashbacks in the series, as of course later on, it was the temple that Luke Skywalker established in New Jedi Order book series. Yes, that particular temple, they overtook that temple and basically remodeled the damn thing. Yep. Now, a lot of the time, this book was jump back and forth between various different characters. Aside from Cade, there's also focused on, of course, the Empire, obviously. And after Cade's father dies, he stops using the lightsaber. Well, that is until he sees the Sith Lord again who killed his father. It's like, screw this, I'm basically picking up my lightsaber again. Oh, by the way, the guy's name is Dark Kremet. Yeah, that's seriously the guy's name. And he basically overthrows the Emperor. Yeah. And then later they try to search for him because they want to execute him. And basically the mobs don't really trust him very much. Yeah, it's pretty much basically a battle of, let's say, egos when it comes to the Empire. Like a lot of backstabbing. The way John Ostrander writes the Empire in this series, it's kind of very similar to how the Terran Empire was written in Star Trek. It's very similar, but it's not a carbon copy. For one thing, we don't have Starfleet ships, people killing each other for promotions, but it's mostly due to the trust issues. That's probably the reason why it's written similarly this way. Yep. We see this one planet which has a bunch of robot heads basically on pikes. Yeah. One looks like a dead C-3PO. Yeah, it looks like C-3PO, like several of them. But I highlight that it's him. Yeah, that's the thing when it comes to the series. Now, Luke Skywalker is in the series, but he's a Force ghost. And Kate Skywalker, at the start of the series, was trying to use death sticks to basically get him to stop seeing him. Because he wanted nothing to do with him. But he ends up stopping doing that. And here's Cade Skywalker in present day before he decides to take up his lightsaber again. Yes, this is him. And that's Dala Blue. That's the woman, basically, who was his girlfriend. And the guy with him, his name, he's just basically his best friend. I don't remember the guy's name. They explain his name later. Oh, his name is Jaren Sin. Yeah. And this is pretty much the crew of their ship throughout the entire series. And here is the woman. Yes, her... After she kills her master, she's basically rechristened. Oh yeah, she's basically blessed with Force lightning. She referred to as Death Talon. Yes, this is Death Talon. And man, oh man, this woman is hot. Yes. Gabe was one lucky guy to bed this woman. It's like Dala Blue. Like goes over the pretty ones. Yep. Her hair looks like though she looked like she was a healer. But no, she kills the guy. Yep. And they show what the Star Destroyers look like. I love the fact between the issues they show blueprints of these Star Destroyers look like. They don't look like the traditional Star Destroyers. They're like other ones. And you have similar stuff related to the original series. And when they infiltrate the temple, that's when Cade gets captured, of course, later on in the series. And that's when Darth Talon sleeps with him. And look, here's Luke Skywalker. And look, here's Cade using a death stick. Yeah, in case you're curious about death sticks, this was actually briefly mentioned in Attack of the Clones. A movie that, well, from what I've heard of people, it's a very mixedly received film of the prequel trilogy. Mostly for a lot of people, the reception to it is very negative from what I've heard. I personally like it. I don't mind the film at all. I mean, it's got some good moments. The only thing I didn't like about it was the romance between Anakin Skywalker, Pamela Amidala, because it feels very forced. Yes, very much forced romance. Cade, of course, does his own thing. Hangs out with his girlfriend, and then when he goes to Coruscant, we have a big battle. Also, another thing, I love these damn covers. They're so freaking good. It's basically done by Adam Hughes. It's almost like looking at a newspaper script. Like a cover of a magazine with these covers. Which, gotta have high praise for Adam Hughes basically doing this. Yeah, it looks like basically, like, they even have taglines, Imperials and Jedi united against the Sith. Which, so cool. Yep. Gotta love all the storytelling here. Ostrander himself does an absolute great job with it. Cade, now in case you're curious, so Cade does have a look that he does maintain throughout most of the series. Dala goes with a few different shirts in the course series, but in the case of Cade, he goes to a few different outfits. But by the end of this, basically, oh yeah, by the way, they revealed that when he was briefly taken, his spaceship was taken by his mother, yes, his mother, and sold. So then they had to get a new spaceship. But in the case, these issues are fantastic. In this book, roughly 9.5 out of 10. Moving on to this book right here, this is actually a trade paperback that collects the original. This is the original trade paperback that collected the issues. This is Volume 4 Alliance. Now, that was the first 19 issues. This is pretty much issues 20 to 23. No, 22. It's 20 to 22 and 27 of Star Wars Legacy. Yeah, with these issues, put, this is stuff what happens here. Basically, the Empire is searching for the former Emperor who's alive, and the current Emperor kills the subordinate who fails to find him, points to someone else, and, well, they try to find him. They don't find, they eventually have sort of a surrender with one person who tries to get, who's part of the Resistance. Now, in case you're curious though, where the heck is the Republic in all this? Aren't they around? Well, apparently they've been reduced. Yes, their power has been dramatically decreased in the series. Apparently the Galactic Empire basically restored the power pretty much to the level, from what I can tell, at the time of A New Hope. Yeah, we're pretty much in control of Coruscant and most of the galaxy. No mention of Tatooine here. Not just yet, per se. Yep. And, well, they try to have surrender. Doesn't work. And, well, lots of action and great way to continue over the course of the series. And I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. It's a damn good book. Now, aside from the fact now the artwork in here is done by, well, not Joris, but he doesn't do the artwork any issues in here. It's basically Omar Parisha and Alan Robinson. The cover art is done by Dan Scott. Damn good cover. Yep. But yeah, absolutely really good book. And I'm definitely looking forward to reviewing more Star Wars Legacy. I have most of the series here, so I'm going to be reviewing it for a while now. Yeah, but this is 4 out of basically 11. Yes, 11 trades that collect the original Star Wars Legacy series. Yep. Oh, and you might recognize, if you read the New Republic series, like New Jedi Order series, yeah, that's the same logo that they put on the books for the New Jedi Order era. From New Jedi Order up until the last official book releases before Disney relaunched the Disney line, where it deemed all the previous stuff non-canon. Yes, that logo was on all those books. Yeah, from New Jedi Order up until... It wasn't Catalyst. It was a book that pretty much referenced a lot of the stuff that's happening in the Star Wars books since New Jedi Order. Like, in case you're curious though, one of the things they did retcon from the series, which I think some people can agree that was a good retcon, which was basically what happened in the first book with Jedi Order when Chewbacca died. How? By having a moon dropped on him. Yes, in the opening book for New Jedi Order, they killed him off and one of Han and Leia's children. They killed Anakin Solo. How? He apparently stole a TIE fighter and crashed into like another ship. Yes, they killed him off in that series. And the following series, I think it's like Fate of the Jedi, I think it is. At the end of that one, Jason Solo, the character was used for the basis for Ben Solo, aka Kylo Ren for the current films. He became a Sith Lord when he decided to betray his aunt, Mara Jade, killing her, and becoming a Sith Lord, and becoming sort of the ruler or the replacement of the Republic, which was the Galactic Alliance. Yeah, that was the replacement for New Republic. Yeah, it was formed after the events of New Jedi Order series, because New Republic failed, so they need sort of a conglomerate of the Empire, the New Republic, and like one other thing, and, well, they formed the Galactic Alliance, which originally New Republic actually banned slavery. That was explained in the books, and then under the current Galactic Alliance, which was replaced New Republic, they pretty much kind of allowed slavery in a very limited scale, but not as bad as the Empire. And also, they have their own guard in the way called Galactic. It's basically kind of like their police force, which is basically have people from the Jedi Order join the actual group itself, which one of those members was Luke Skywalker's own son, Ben Skywalker. Yep, a kid named after Luke's mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ben was his alias that he used when he was living on Tatooine. Yeah, as far as I can tell, he never actually met Obi-Wan Kenobi in any of the books. Well, not Ben Skywalker per se. Lucas encountered Obi-Wan Kenobi as a Force Ghost several times over the course of the series, but not his son. His son never counts him. And if you ever see pictures of Mara Jade, like, Luke Skywalker must have been like the luckiest guy in the Star Wars universe who wasn't Han Solo to basically be married to a beautiful like Mara Jade. And they got married like roughly just a few years after the events of the Return of the Jedi. Yeah, where he posed to her during the events of Hand of Thrawn, where it was revealed that apparently looked like Thrawn was alive, but nope, he was not alive. It was just some imposter using his name. And basically, it was like, you want to get married? And she's like, yeah, like make her not, like, or we get out of here, or, and he's like, no matter what. And later on, they did get married. They got married in a comic book. In the case of Han and Leia in the original expanded universe, they attempt to get married a few times. One guy tried to claim to be her fiance, but Han's like, nope, I'm her fiance. I'm marrying her. They eventually did. after like having a couple times mentioned they finally got married, indicates the current canon. I don't know if that actually happened or not. It's particularly quite weird. Luke, his wedding was handled no problem at all. It was handled like one comic. I haven't read it, but yeah, no interruptions. Also, when he reformed the New Jedi Order, it was basically like the Jedi Council comprised of like politicians and basically a big group of people. And he also, despite being the Grand Master of the Jedi Order, he pretty much was basically, he was still running things per se, though some people who basically worked for him, he would basically slowly start the Jedi Academy. Like, if you want to read about the start of Jedi Academy, you read the Jedi Academy trilogy for the books. Really good book series. During the course book series, Lando briefly gains ownership of the Millennium Falcon throughout the start of the series, and by the end of it, he loses back to Han. Yep. I know I'm referencing a lot of Expanded Universe stuff, but yes, Expanded Universe was quite interesting stuff, but not a lot of stuff was quite interesting as you might think it is. Some stuff was good, some stuff was bad. The Dark Horse stuff, from the reception I've heard from it, was that it was very positively received. The books themselves were mixed at best. The first of the books released for the Expanded Universe was the Thrawn Trilogy. I read it, it's really good. I mean, yep, so yeah. But not much I'll say about Star Wars Legacy, the both two books. But next Comic Corner, 2 Marvel books. One is going to be the third to last trade for trade series. The other one's the first of 2 trades for a trade series by both Marvel Comics. Though that Legacy Epic collection is from Marvel, but next one's basically both Marvel. Okay, so, until the next video, bye.